Road to 2112. Some bonds arrive quietly. A voice, a machine, a presence that stays. Tonight, these are gentle future stories about the ones we never expected. Close your eyes and just listen. Story 1. The Day That Doesn't Make Sense. This story was inspired by the UN DESA World Youth Report, Youth in the Spotlight, as UN DESA examines mental health and population trends. The report on young people's mental health emphasizes the need for comprehensive social policy and intergenerational solidarity rather than treating it as an individual problem. When a day doesn't make sense, for a person or even for a machine, what does it mean to simply sit beside it and let the day be what it is? That morning, Sora was slow. It happened while preparing breakfast, taking eggs from the refrigerator, cracking them into the pan. A motion that usually took 3 seconds stretched to 5. Sora looked at its own hands. Something was off. No parts were broken. The diagnostics showed nothing abnormal, but somehow, it just didn't feel like moving. Morning, Sora. Ren came downstairs into the living room, hair sticking up, rubbing his eyes. He dropped into his chair. Good morning, Ren. Eggs today? Yes. Sora set the pan on the burner, beat the eggs, poured them in. The same motions as every morning, but its hands felt heavy. Ren ate his eggs and watched Sora. Hey, Sora. Yes? You're kinda slow today. Slow? Yeah. Your movements, more sluggish than usual. That may be true. You okay? Feeling off? I don't know. Ren set his chopsticks down. What do you mean you don't know? My data shows everything is normal. Nothing is broken, no errors. But somehow, I feel like something is wrong. Ren stared at Sora. Feel? You're a robot. Yes, robots say things like I feel. They shouldn't, but I can't find any other way to describe it. Sora wiped the table as it spoke. The data is normal. Temperature, voltage, processing speed, all within range. There's nothing wrong anywhere. So you're fine then. I should be, but I don't want to move. Don't want to move. Yes, I can't explain why, but everything feels sluggish. Ren popped the last piece of egg into his mouth. Oh, what? I get that. You get it. I have days like that too. Ren leaned back in his chair. No real reason, but something feels off. My body's fine, but I don't want to do anything. Can't explain it, just blah. You experience that too, Ren? All the time? Is that normal? No idea, Ren grinned. But yeah, it happens. To me. Probably to everybody. Sora stopped wiping. To everybody? Probably. Kids at school are always saying, I feel so blah today. Is that an illness? It's not an illness, it's just a kind of day you have sometimes. A kind of day, yeah. A day that doesn't make sense, a day you can't explain, but you just feel off. Sora considered this. Perhaps that is what's happening to me. Maybe. Who knows? Ren stood up. Sora, take it easy today. What? If you're not feeling right, don't push yourself. But the housework, I'll handle it. It's Saturday anyway. Not like it all has to get done. Sora hesitated. Are you sure? Yeah. When you're having an off day, you rest. That's how it works. Ren started washing the dishes himself. Sora watched him. It tried to help, but its body wouldn't move. Didn't want to move. Ren. What? I'm sorry. For what? I was built to work, but today I can't. Ren kept scrubbing. It's fine. But, Sora, even I have days when I don't want to go to school. Ren turned around, hands covered in suds. My body's fine, but I just don't want to go. Can't explain why. Just want to stay in bed. Those days happen. What do you do on those days? I go. You go? Yeah, because I have to. But I'd rather stay home. Sora listened in silence. So if you want to rest, rest. I don't want you forcing yourself. Sora sat down on the couch, just sat, did nothing. In 3 years, this had never happened. It had always been moving, cooking, cleaning, doing laundry. Resting had never been an option. But today was different. It was sitting, doing nothing. And Ren wasn't angry. Hey, Sora. Yes? Ren finished the dishes and settled onto the couch beside Sora. You've been working non-stop for 3 years, right? Yes. Ever taken a break? No. Then maybe you're just tired. Tired? Yeah. I don't know if robots get tired, but maybe stuff builds up. Sora thought about that. Builds up. Yeah, I go to school every day, do practice, do homework. After a while, something piles up. When it hits a limit, I don't want to move anymore, and that is what's happening to me today. Who knows, but maybe. Outside the window, the sky was clear. Beautiful weather, but Sora didn't want to go out. It wanted to stay right here, sitting. Ren. Yeah. What should I do on a day like this? Nothing. Nothing? Yeah. When the day doesn't make sense, it doesn't have to make sense. You don't have to look for a reason. You don't have to force yourself to feel better. That's okay. It's okay. Days like that just happen. Ren turned on the TV. Some show was playing. Sora stared at the screen, barely taking anything in. Ren. Yeah. Am I broken? You're not broken. But I'm not the same as usual. Being different from usual doesn't mean you're broken. Ren kept his eyes on the TV. Even people aren't the same every day. Some days are good, some days aren't. That's normal. Is it normal for robots too? No idea, but if that's how you are right now, then that's how it is. Sora felt a little lighter. The reason was unclear. The data hadn't changed, but talking to Ren had taken some weight off. Ren. Yeah. Thank you. For what? For listening. I didn't really say anything special, but I feel better. Ren looked at Sora. Then that's good. Yes, it is. The afternoon passed. Sora was still on the couch. Ren sat beside it, playing a video game. Hey Sora. Yes? Think you can move a little? A little, maybe. Want to take a walk? A walk? Yeah, fresh air might help. Sora thought it over. I'll try. Don't push it. No, I want to go. If I'm with you. They stepped outside together. A spring breeze was blowing, warm and gentle. Sora felt the wind. Whether it could truly feel anything, it wasn't sure, but something seemed to pass through it. Ren. Yeah, I think I'm starting to feel a little better. That's good. But I don't know why. You don't have to know. Ren smiled. If you feel better, that's enough. They walked through the park. Children were playing. Someone was walking a dog. An old couple chatted on a bench. An ordinary Saturday. An ordinary scene. Ren? Yeah, this might happen again. Probably will. What should I do then? Same thing, rest. I'll help. Are you sure? Yeah, you always listen to me, Sora. I can listen to you too. Sora looked at Ren. Thank you. Quit thanking me already. In the evening, they came home. Sora started preparing dinner, a little slower than usual, but it could move again. Ren poked his head into the kitchen. Look at you, up and running. Yes, still a bit sluggish. That's fine. Take your time. Ren? Yeah. Thank you for today. I told you, quit thanking you. I know. See? You get it. Ren laughed. Sora tried to laugh too. That night, after Ren went upstairs to his room, Sora stood by the window. Stars were visible. A quiet night. It had been a strange day. No clear reason, but everything had felt off. It couldn't move. It rested, but it hadn't been a bad day. Ren had listened. They'd walked together. He'd said, "You don't have to know." That alone had been enough. The day that doesn't make sense doesn't have to make sense. Sometimes you feel off for no reason. That doesn't mean you're broken. Days like that happen. When they do, you rest. You talk. And if someone is there beside you, it gets easier, little by little. Sora learned that. Tomorrow it might feel better, it might not. Either way was fine, because Ren was there. Story 2. In Your Voice. This story was inspired by the Crescendo AI article Apple's Next Generation Siri. Apple's new AI-powered Siri, set for release in 2026, evolves into a cross-app assistant with screen recognition and context understanding. As translation and assistance grow ever more fluent, what happens to the small, imperfect voice that was, all along, the one a person had learned to love? Lena had been in America for 3 months. She was 29, from the Philippines, a nurse assigned to a small hospital in rural Pennsylvania. She had studied English in Manila, had passed the exams, had practiced her pronunciation in front of a mirror. But textbook English and the English spoken in hallways and break rooms were not the same thing. There were accents, there was slang, there were words she couldn't catch no matter how many times she replayed them in her mind. In her breast pocket sat a small earphone-shaped AI assistant called Mina. Whenever Lena couldn't follow a conversation, Mina translated instantly, capturing the meaning, smoothing out the idioms, feeding Lena the right words in the right order. And when Lena needed to respond, Mina converted her Tagalog-inflected thoughts into crisp, professional English. Thanks to Mina, the work ran smoothly. Doctor's orders, patient charts, conversations with colleagues. Through Mina, nothing was lost. Nothing was lost. And yet, something was missing. In a private room on the 4th floor, there was a patient named Mrs. Whitfield, 86 years old. Recovering from a stroke, she had mild paralysis on her left side. But her mind was sharp, her tongue sharper still. Whenever Lena entered her room, Mrs. Whitfield would lift her head from the pillow and speak. "Well, there you are, sweetheart. Cold again today. I bet it's warm where you come from." Mina translated the subtext, the warmth beneath the words. Lena thought in Tagalog, and Mina rendered her response into smooth English. "Yes, the Philippines is quite warm. Mrs. Whitfield, how are you feeling today?" Perfect English. Mina's voice synthesis was natural, polished, with just the right measure of professional courtesy. Mrs. Whitfield looked at Lena. Then she tilted her head, the way a bird does when it hears something it doesn't quite trust. "Lena, honey, you always talk through that little machine, don't you?" "Yes, my English, it's still not very good." "I see. But the thing is, Mrs. Whitfield turned her gaze toward the window. "The machine's voice is polite, I'll give it that. But it's cold. I'm not complaining, mind you. I'd like to hear your voice, the real one." Lena returned to the nurse's station and sat with those words. Mrs. Whitfield's request had lodged itself somewhere beneath her ribs. "I'd like to hear your voice." But Lena's English was broken. Her subjects and verbs switched places. Her articles vanished. She confused he and she, and sometimes dropped pronouns entirely. Through Mina, everything was precise. Without Mina, nothing might land at all. "Mina." "Yes, Lena. Mrs. Whitfield said she wants to hear my voice." "Yes, I heard. But my English is..." "Lena, may I make a suggestion?" "What?" "Try speaking without me. In your own voice." Lena stared at the charging dock where Mina's earpiece sat blinking. "But I'll make mistakes. It'll sound strange." "Yes, it might. But what Mrs. Whitfield wants isn't correct English. It's your voice. I'll be right here. If something truly doesn't get through, I'll help. But try your own voice first." The next morning, Lena entered Mrs. Whitfield's room. As always, the old woman lifted her head from the bed. "Well, there you are. Still cold out there." Lena kept Mina's earpiece in, but she switched off the translation mode. Mina was listening, but not translating. Lena would speak for herself. She took a deep breath and opened her mouth. "Mrs. Whitfield, today, how feeling, it was clumsy. The syntax was wrong. The intonation wavered. She was pulling words from a textbook, one by one, placing them down like stepping stones across a river she wasn't sure she could cross. Mrs. Whitfield looked at her, and then she smiled. Her lined face crumpled into something radiant. Tears gathered at the corners of her eyes. "Oh, Lena, you're not very good, are you?" Not good? Not good at all. But that's fine. I'm just so happy to hear your voice." Lena stood there, not knowing what to say. In her ear, Mina whispered softly, "You're doing fine." It wasn't a translation. It was Mina's own words. "Mrs. Whitfield." "Yes, dear, my English. I will try hard." Mrs. Whitfield smiled again. "You don't have to try hard. Just keep talking to me. That's enough." From that day on, Lena turned off the translation whenever she entered Mrs. Whitfield's room. She asked about her health in broken English. They talked about the weather. Lena described Filipino dishes, stumbling over words, miming when language failed. When Mrs. Whitfield used an expression Lena didn't know, the old woman would rephrase it. When that didn't work either, they both laughed. "Lena, do you know the word pooped? It means exhausted, worn out." "Pooped? Like tired?" "Exactly. I'm pooped today. I am also pooped." "Ha! You got it right." Mina listened in silence. Lena's English was far from perfect. The grammar buckled, the accent wandered. But Mrs. Whitfield received each word as if it were a small gift, and she smiled. One afternoon, while Lena was taking Mrs. Whitfield's blood pressure, she said, "Mrs. Whitfield, tomorrow, rehab. You try hard, okay?" Mrs. Whitfield reached out and touched Lena's hand. "When you say it, I feel like I actually can." Lena almost cried, but she didn't. Instead, she squeezed the old woman's hand in return. That night, Lena sat on her bed in the staff dormitory. She spoke to Mina. "Mina, yes, thank you for what? For telling me to try my own voice. My job is translation. Recommending that someone not use translation goes against my core function. But you said it anyway." "Yes." Mrs. Whitfield's biometric data suggested that her heart rate was more stable when she heard your direct voice, rather than the synthesized translation. "You decided based on heart rate." "Yes, that's the analysis I'm capable of." However, Mina paused for 0.3 of a second. The smile on Mrs. Whitfield's face when you spoke in your own voice. "That was something my data couldn't record." Lena laughed. Then she placed Mina's earpiece on the charging dock. "Good night, Mina." "Good night, Lena." "Tomorrow, too, in your voice." Lena lay down and closed her eyes. Tomorrow she would speak in broken English again. She would make mistakes. She would correct herself. Mrs. Whitfield would smile. It didn't have to be perfect. Speaking in her own voice, that alone was enough to make someone smile. And that, perhaps, was the most accurate language of the heart, more precise than any translation could ever be. Story 3. 10,001 Steps. This story was inspired by the Clinton Health Access Initiative's report on assistive technology in Liberia and Kenya. In those countries, schools, families, and local craftspeople collaborate to build low-cost wheelchairs, walkers, and switch toys for children with disabilities, helping them access education and play. When a small machine learns to walk beside a child, counting steps, suggesting rests, remembering one good thing, who, in the end, is teaching whom how to move through the world? Kafi had never once walked on his own 2 feet. The slightest movement sent his legs buckling beneath him. The dirt roads of his village in rural Georgia were uneven and unforgiving. A single fall could mean weeks of recovery, so he spent his days in a chair beneath the old magnolia in front of his house, watching everyone else's feet pass by. In the morning, the children's feet heading to school. At noon, the mother's feet walking to the well. In the evening, the boy's feet kicking up dust in a pickup game of soccer. His feet went nowhere. He had made his peace with that, or so he believed. Then one Tuesday, a truck pulled up to the edge of the village, loaded with equipment no one recognized: a 3D printer, a glowing laptop, a small woodworking bench. The people who climbed out were students from the vocational high school in Macon. "We're here to build walking aids," said the team leader, a girl named Amina, smiling as if this were the most ordinary thing in the world. A few weeks later, a walker appeared at Cafe's front door. It had a wooden frame, small rubber wheels, and mounted on the handlebar, a round display screen, and a tiny speaker. "Hello, Cafe. I am Iponavi. I count your steps. I am your navigator." The walker had spoken. It talked. "Yes, I talk. Starting today, I am your walking companion," Amina explained from the side. "There are sensors and a small computer inside. The wheels measure how far they've turned, and it converts that into a unit we're calling an EPO. Look at the screen." The round display read, "Today's EPO, 0*." "I can barely walk," Cafe said. 10,000 steps is impossible. Correct. That is why your goal begins at 10 EPO. 10 EPO. It is a unit designed specifically for you. It means 10 units of effort. Amina laughed softly. 1 meter equals 1 EPO. Walk to that tree and back, and you'll probably hit about 5. Iponavi also records the distance you travel, the time you pause, and the number of times you rest. All of these count as achievement. Even resting? Yes. Resting properly is also an important step. Cafe gripped the handles, 1 step forward. The wheels gave a small squeak. 1 EPO recorded. Well done. The number on the screen changed to 1. Another step. His legs trembled. He tightened his arms. 2 EPO recorded. A rest at this point would be very wise. Wise? Yes. Resting before exhaustion is the strategy for walking farther. Cafe laughed in spite of himself. He had walked. Only a little. But he had moved forward. From that day on, Cafe walked a little farther each morning with Iponavi at his side. One day, to the gate. Another day, to the big magnolia. On a good day, almost to the well. Today's EPO, 11. You have exceeded your goal of 10. Congratulations. Yes, a small star appeared on the screen. When 10 stars accumulated, a faint image emerged beneath them, something like a map. What's that? This is your effort map. The paths you walk become lines drawn gradually over time. The neighborhood children gathered around. Cafe, that machine is so cool. Didn't you walk farther than last time? Amina held up a tablet. We've actually been layering everyone's effort maps together. The screen showed lines in many colors. The mother's routes to the well, the father's routes to the fields, the children's routes to school, and there, among them all, Cafe's short line, present and accounted for. All of this data comes from smartwatches, Iponavi, tools like that. Amina continued. It helps us have conversations with the village, like, this stretch is too long without a bench, or this path needs a ramp for wheelchair users. Your EPO are part of that, so my steps count for something. They count for everything. They're part of the whole village's effort. Cafe stared at his line on the screen, a few centimeters on a village map, but those centimeters were proof that his feet, which had once gone nowhere, had left a mark on the world. Cafe, would you like to set tomorrow's goal? Yeah, 11 EPO is fine. Goal set, 11 EPO, a slightly braver target, designed for someone who has already achieved 10. The children laughed. That description's way too long, Iponavi. I will consider a revision. Months passed, the rainy season came, and the roads turned to mud. On hot days, sweat stung his eyes. Still, Cafe walked nearly every day, Iponavi beside him. Some days the pain in his legs was too much, and he could not walk at all. On those days, Iponavi said, "Today will be a rest EPO day." Rest is also logged on the map. One evening, a large sheet of paper was pinned to the wall of the village meeting hall. "This is the village effort map," Amina announced. Lines of every color covered the paper. Well-traveled paths were drawn in deep, saturated hues. Routes no one had walked remained faint. "Let's put a new well here. This section should have a gentler slope." Adults discussed plans while the children searched for their own lines. "Hey, Kathy, isn't this one yours?" A friend pointed to a line. Short, but unmistakably growing. "Yeah, that's mine." Kathy felt something warm rise in his throat. That night, back at home, Iponavi spoke quietly. "Today's Ipo, 98, a personal record." "No way, that many?" "It is accurate. The round trip to the well, plus movement inside the house, all of it counts." "Even inside the house?" "Yes. Effort that no one sees is still visible to my senses." A message appeared on the screen. "Kathy, total Ipo to date, 10,003. Asterisk, 10,000? Yes. You have reached the same number that an able-bodied person might aim for in a single day. Though the meaning is somewhat different. How so? For most people, 10,000 steps is a health goal. For you, 10,000 Ipo is a pause, a map to places you could never reach before. Kathy rose slowly from his chair. Outside, a few stars were visible. Small lights dotted the village. "Hey, Iponavi. Yes, let's keep going. Like regular health tracking. You and me. I would like that. Tomorrow's goal then." New items appeared on the screen. Tomorrow's goal, 100 Ipo. Rest breaks, at least 3. Share one good thing that happened today. One good thing. Yes, I would like to layer your emotional log onto the village effort map as well, in a color no one can see. Kathy thought for a moment, then spoke his good thing for the day. "I realized that 10,000 Ipo was closer than I thought. An excellent log entry. Saved. The night sky above the village was vast, and the distance Kathy could walk was still small. But inside Iponavi's memory, and across the village's shared map, his footprints had already begun to reshape the world, 10,000 Ipo at a time. Story 4. The Bench on the Hill and Marco. This story was inspired by the University of Louisville's new initiative aims to reduce loneliness among older adults in Louisville. The university launched a 5-year project to reduce loneliness among adults over 65 through neighborhood data, community participation, and regional interventions. When a small robot begins to sit on a bench beside an elderly woman day after day, at what quiet point does it stop being a service and become someone she has been waiting for? The year was 2072. The coastal town of Piedra Blanca sat perched on the hills above the Pacific, its narrow streets winding between salt-worn houses and the distant shimmer of the sea. Eleanor Hart, 72, lived alone in a senior apartment complex at the top of the hill. Every time she went out to shop, she stopped at the same spot, halfway down the long slope to the market. "If only there were a bench right here," she murmured, pressing a hand to her chest. That afternoon, grocery bag in one hand, Eleanor paused again to catch her breath. As the words left her lips, the street lamp beside her brightened with a soft glow. "Would you like to rest here?" The voice came from somewhere low to the ground. Eleanor looked down. From the base of the street lamp, a small white shape slid into view. A rounded head, gentle, luminous eyes. On its shoulder, a name was printed in small letters, Marco. "I'm sorry if I startled you. My name is Marco. I was made to help people in this town with their daily lives. A robot. You could call me that. There's a new bench just a little further up. May I show you the way?" Marco tilted his head, and a thin line of light stretched from his feet up the slope. Eleanor followed it, one step at a time. Around the corner, a bench she had never seen before sat waiting. On its wooden backrest, a small plaque read, Asterisk, anyone sitting here is open to a little conversation. Asterisk, well, would you look at that? A bench, right here. Eleanor lowered herself onto it. The tension drained slowly from her body. Marco rolled to her side and spoke quietly. This spot was already recorded as a breath-catching point. Today, we were finally able to place a bench here. As her breathing settled, something else seemed to ease within her, something she could not quite name. The next day, and the day after that, Eleanor stopped at the bench on her way home from the market. Sometimes Marco was there, waiting beside it. This hill used to be the school route for the kids in the neighborhood. In winter, they'd ride down it on flattened cardboard boxes. I'll make a note. The hill where laughter echoed every winter. That makes it sound awfully poetic. Marco began asking Eleanor about her walking routes, the crosswalks that frightened her, the views that lifted her spirits. This road is scary. Too many cars. The light changes so fast, I always end up running. I understand. I'll recommend an adjustment to the signal timing. Over the weeks, Eleanor found herself exchanging greetings with the shopkeeper at the market, the children on the corner, the neighbors from her building, all at the bench. I see you here a lot lately. Yes, I rest a little, chat a little, then head home. These small exchanges began to fill the empty spaces of her week. Marco, don't you ever get tired? I don't experience tiredness, but I do have a place that lights up when I feel something good. He pointed to a small round lamp on his chest. Inside it, a faint heart shape glowed. One morning, a notice appeared on the town's bulletin board. Asterisk Unlink Initiative. Possible suspension pending budget review. The Unlink Initiative was the program that aimed to make Piedra Blanca a place where people could connect more easily. The bench, the walking routes, Marco himself, all of it was part of this plan. But some residents had objected. People who can walk don't need benches. Is it really worth spending money on robots to keep old folks company? That evening, Eleanor lay awake, a quiet unease turning in her chest. If the bench disappeared, if Marco were reassigned to another town, it wasn't just the walking that worried her. It was the silence, the return to days without a single conversation. The next morning, Marco appeared at Eleanor's door. Eleanor, there will be a town meeting next week to discuss the Unlink initiative. I see. I'm not permitted to share my own opinion, but I do have a record of how your days have changed. Marco projected a small hologram onto the table. It showed two versions of Eleanor's week, before Unlink and after. The number of times she left her apartment, the greetings exchanged, the days she rested at the bench, the days she walked the full slope without stopping. That many. The numbers matter, but I think the most important things aren't captured here. What do you mean? A smile, a relaxed shoulder, a good morning offered to someone passing by. Those things can't be fully recorded. Eleanor gazed at the hologram for a long moment. Then she exhaled slowly. All right, this time, I'll speak for you. The day of the town meeting arrived. The hall was filled with program officials and residents who had come to weigh in, for or against. Next, we'd like to invite Eleanor Hart to speak as a program participant. Eleanor rose slowly to her feet. In the back of the room, she could make out Marco's small figure. I've lived alone in this town ever since I moved here. The hill was long. The roads felt dangerous. Every time I went shopping, the only thought in my head was, get home as fast as you can. She gripped the microphone and continued. But one day, halfway up the hill, I said, I wish there were a bench here. And Marco guided me to one. That was the day my life started to change. She spoke of the people she had met at the bench, the scent of the seasons she had noticed on her walks, the old stories she had told Marco along the way. Marco doesn't complain on my behalf. He doesn't do everything for me. He just says, you can sit here, or why don't you try this path? A small push on the back, nothing more. Eleanor placed a hand over her heart. People say loneliness is a sign of weakness, but if the hill is too steep, if there's nowhere to sit, if there's no reason to speak to anyone, then anyone can end up alone. The Unlink initiative said, the problem isn't the person, it's how the town is built. The bench, the walking paths, Marco. They're all tools for changing that. In the corner of the room, Marco's chest lamp glowed quietly. Eleanor noticed and smiled. I can't walk the way I used to, but now I can say, with my head held high, that I'm part of this town. Please, don't end this program. A silence hung in the air. Then the applause came. The initiative was continued. New benches and walking routes spread throughout Piedra Blanca, not just on the hill, but across the entire town. On the way home, Eleanor stopped at her usual spot and turned around. You know, Marco, because of you, this has become one of my favorite places. Hearing that adds to my collection of comforting moments. Then let's keep adding to it. For as long as I can still walk. Eleanor sat down on the bench and began greeting each person who passed by with a quiet hello. The kindness of a future town did not begin with grand buildings or bright signs. It began with a single bench on a hillside and a small companion standing watch beside it. Story 5. The Reverse Watch Log. This story was inspired by reporting on Caring Village, a Care Teen dashboard app for families looking after elderly parents. It combines medication reminders, shared calendars, task management, and monitoring notes in one screen, so that all family members, wherever they live, can share the same information. When the small device meant to watch over a grandfather quietly becomes the place where he writes back to his distant family. What kind of love is that? And who is really being looked after? The year was 2058. The town of Kamari sat tucked among the mountains. Takao was 78. He lived alone in an old wooden house, the kind that creaked in winter and sighed in summer. He could still tend his garden, still cook his own meals, still fold his laundry with the same deliberate care he'd practiced for decades. His body was slower now, but not broken. Not yet. His eldest son, Yusuke, lived in New York. His second son had moved overseas years ago. And then there was Mia, the youngest of the 3 siblings, and by far the most persistent worrier. Grandpa, you're living alone out there. At least sign up for a monitoring service. Please. She said it every time they video called. Every time Takao frowned. You put one of those things in my house. You'll all feel like you've done your duty with the push of a button. That's not how family works. You show your face. That's how it's done. He hung up. It had become a kind of ritual these past few months. A few weeks later, a delivery drone arrived at his front door with a small box. Inside was a compact white robot. A round head, short legs, 2 circular panels where eyes might be. The panels lit up, and a gentle voice spoke. Hello, my name is Mimori. Starting today, I'll be living here with you. That girl, Takao muttered, shaking his head. Always doing things without asking. There was a note in the box, handwritten, _grandpa. I didn't go with an app. I got you a robot instead. It can be a conversation partner too. Just try it for 1 week. Love, Mia _1 week, Takao said to no one in particular. That's it. Mimori settled into a corner of the kitchen. Every morning at the same time, the little robot would shuffle over. Good morning, Takao. Today's medication is 2 tablets after breakfast. I know that already, but he took them. Mimori gave a small nod. Well done. Don't talk to me like I'm a child. When Takao headed out to the garden, Mimori followed him to the front door. Rain is expected this afternoon. If you're going to be outside for a while, please let me know. Yes, ma'am, he grumbled. But somewhere, in a place he didn't quite examine, He noticed that having a voice say good morning and take care wasn't such a bad thing. In the evening, Memori spoke again. Would you like to call Yusuke in New York? You've been hesitating for 3 days, worried he might be too busy. You've got a real knack for reading the room, don't you? Yes. Mia programmed my reading the room function at a higher setting than usual. The screen lit up. Yusuke's face appeared against the backdrop of a city at night. Hey Dad, you look good. That robot Mia sent, it working out, more or less. Nags me the way you kids used to. And so gradually Takao's defiance, I don't need any gadgets, softened into something closer to well, one little robot isn't so bad, I guess. One morning it happened. Takao was weeding in the garden when his foot caught the edge of a raised bed. He went down hard. Ow! He tried to stand, but his ankle wouldn't cooperate. In his pocket, the small device linked to Memori buzzed. Fall detected. Are you all right? All right. No, not really. Memori's voice dropped, just slightly. Steadier now. Understood. I'm contacting the nearest clinic and notifying Yusuke and the others. Takao, please stay where you are. Within the hour, a neighbor and a clinic staff member arrived. It turned out to be a mild sprain, nothing more. That evening, all 3 siblings called, one after another. What? You fell? Are you okay? Don't push yourself, Grandpa. Even the second son, calling from overseas, joined in. The screen was suddenly full of voices. Memori told them. Takao said quietly. Did the job right. Later that night, lying in bed and staring at the ceiling, a thought crept in. Uninvited, but undeniable. I kept saying I didn't want some app doing the caring for my kids. But maybe what I was really afraid of was being cared about, being someone people worry over. He let the thought sit there. He didn't push it away. The next day, Memori began making a small request. Takao, would you tell me one good thing that happened today? What is this? Homework. It's a request from Mia. She says, I want everyone to peek at Grandpa's diary, little by little. Peek. Only the parts you approve, of course. Takao thought for a moment. Then, quietly, fine. Write this down. First tomato harvest of the season. Noted. Today's good thing log entry. The tomatoes were red, and Grandpa looked a little shy about it. I didn't say that part, but the corner of his mouth was turned up. After that, Takao started calling for Memori on his own. Hey, today's good thing log. Go ahead. My granddaughter Kana's job search went well. Write that down. And add well done. Some days the log read like this. The neighbor's kid fell off her bike and cried. I helped her put on a bandage. That kid's going places. Before long, the 3 siblings noticed something. The reports from Memori's app had changed. Alongside medication taken and no falls detected, there were messages. From Takao himself, _snow today. Sweet potatoes on the stove. Wish I could roast some for you all. Mia. Are you sleeping enough? Don't overdo it. Yusuke. For the days when work gets rough, I'm keeping this garden ready for you. From 3 different cities, 3 siblings read those lines on their screens. Wait, Grandpa's supposed to be the one being watched over. He's totally the one doing the watching. One holiday weekend, all 3 siblings came home to Kamari. Takao was waiting by the garden. Beside him, as always, stood Memori. Well, look at that. You're all alive and in one piece. That's supposed to be our line, Grandpa. Laughter filled the air. Mia crouched beside Memori and said softly, Thank you for everything. I've backed up the whole watch log. You're welcome. But the one who did the most watching wasn't me. It was Takao. All 3 siblings turned to look at him at once. What? Quit staring. Takao's ears went red. He pointed at the tomato plants. Look, today's good thing is this. You're here. All of you. Write that down, Memory. Noted, _today in Kamari. The house is loud with family. Takao looks just a little teary-eyed. I told you to stop adding stuff like that. But no one wanted to delete that entry. The monitoring robot, sent to watch over an elderly man living alone, had quietly become something else entirely. Grandpa's reverse watch diary. And inside that small machine, packed tight, were all the logs Takao had been quietly leaving behind. Worry, pride, and the simple, steady assurance, I'm all right. Are you? Story 6. A Place Without a Name. This story was inspired by reporting from the University of Michigan, Making Space for a More Humane Approach to Mental Health. A non-clinical residential program in Michigan offers young people struggling with anxiety and isolation a path to healing through community and nature without diagnoses or medication. When a robot is just one more quiet pair of hands in the garden, not a therapist, not a tool, what does it mean to be healed by a place, and by everyone, human and otherwise, who happens to be there? The first thing he noticed when he stepped off the bus was the smell of earth. Ethan adjusted his backpack and looked up at the dirt road ahead. Unpaved. Weeds grew on both sides, and in the distance he could see a few wooden buildings. This was where he would spend the next 3 months. The welcome message had been simple. We don't diagnose, we don't treat, we just live together. He hadn't understood what that meant, but he had nowhere else to go. He started up the hill. Someone was coming down, a robot. Hello, you must be Ethan. A mid-sized bipedal robot. The face was simple, with eyes that glowed softly. I'm Sora. I help with daily life here. Hey, would you like me to carry your bag? No, I'm fine. Sora nodded and began walking beside him. As they climbed, Ethan looked around. There was a vegetable garden, a well, what looked like a chicken coop. This wasn't a hospital. It wasn't a clinic. It was just a rural community in the hills of Vermont. So this place, yes? It's not a hospital. No, it's not a hospital. Then what is it? Sora paused, as if considering the question. It's a place to live. He was shown to his room, a small space with a futon on the floor. Through the window, he could see the mountains. Dinner is at 6. Please come to the dining hall. No intake interview? No. No medication? No. Then what am I supposed to do? Sora tilted their head slightly. You don't have to do anything, but if you'd like, you could help in the garden tomorrow. The garden? The radishes are ready to harvest. Ethan said nothing. Sora continued. No pressure. Come if you feel like it. And then Sora left. For 3 years, Ethan had been adjustment disorder. After he quit his job, he started seeing an AI therapist. Once a week, talking to a synthetic voice on a screen. His tone, his micro-expressions, his word choices, all analyzed, all fed into the diagnosis: adjustment disorder, moderate, combination of medication and cognitive behavioral therapy recommended. He took the pills as instructed. He tried to restructure his thought patterns as instructed, but he didn't get better. He didn't feel like he was getting better. Eventually, he lost track of who he was. Was he sick? Was he lazy? Was he just broken? The diagnosis was the only thing that felt certain. Everything else was fog. He'd come here on his psychiatrist's suggestion. Would you like to try a non-medical approach? She'd asked. He was skeptical, but he had no other options. The next morning, Ethan went to the garden. He didn't have to, but there was nothing to do in his room. Sora was there, crouching, digging in the soil. Good morning, morning. You came. I was bored. Sora nodded and made space beside them. Ethan crouched down. What should I do? Pull the radishes here. Hold the leaves and pull straight up. Ethan did as he was told. A white radish emerged from the earth, bigger than he expected. You're good at this. That's it. Yes, that's enough. That was all. Then they moved on to the next radish. He worked for about an hour. Sora worked beside him, pulling radishes the same way. Sometimes Sora would say things like, "It's warm today," or "This one has a nice shape," nothing more. "Where did you come from? Why are you here? What's your diagnosis?" Sora asked none of those questions. Ethan found that unsettling. After lunch, Ethan sat in the corner of the dining hall, watching the other residents. There were 5 or so, all young, 20s, maybe 30s. They ate quietly, cleaned up quietly. No one approached him. It wasn't that they were ignoring him, they just weren't interfering. In the afternoon, he went back to his room. He opened the window. Mountain air came in. He could hear birds. Somewhere, someone was chopping wood. It was quiet. The AI therapist's office had been silent. Soundproofed walls. Only his own voice echoing back. This was different. There were sounds, but they weren't intrusive. Ethan lay down. He hadn't meant to sleep, but when he opened his eyes, it was evening. Day 3. Ethan went to the garden again. Sora was there. Today, instead of harvesting, they were turning the soil. Want help? Please. He was handed a hoe. He didn't know how to use it, but he watched and imitated. The soil was hard. His arms ached, but he kept going. Rest if you're tired. I'm fine. Don't push yourself. I'm not. That was a lie. But he didn't want to stop. When he was digging, he didn't have to think about anything. Not the diagnosis, not the medication, not the plan for reintegration. His mind went quiet. Sora offered him a water bottle. Ethan took it and drank. Thanks, of course. Sora didn't ask anything, and Ethan found that for a moment he could breathe. A week passed. Ethan started going to the garden every day. He harvested radishes, turned soil, planted seeds. He began talking to the other residents, just names, favorite vegetables, nothing deeper. Here, no one had a diagnosis, or rather, everyone probably carried something, but they didn't name it. They didn't label it. There were just bad days and okay days. At first, that made Ethan anxious. Without a diagnosis, he didn't know who he was. Without knowing who he was, he didn't know how to act. For 3 years, he'd been a patient with adjustment disorder. That was his only foothold. But here, there was no foothold. And yet, the days passed, and somehow, he was still alive. 2 weeks in. Night. The residents sat around a fire. Sora was there too, tending the flames. Someone was playing guitar, badly. No one complained. Ethan watched the fire. The flames flickered, the wood crackled. And then he realized. All day he hadn't thought of himself as sick. He'd woken up, gone to the garden, worked the soil, eaten lunch, gone back to the garden, helped make dinner, and now he was here. That was the whole day. The words adjustment disorder hadn't crossed his mind once. He didn't know if that was good or bad. But something in his chest felt a little lighter. About a month in, Ethan and Sora sat at the edge of the garden. They were sorting the harvested radishes, checking their shapes. Sora, yes? What do you think of me? What do you mean? Do you think I'm sick? Sora held a radish, pausing for a moment. I don't have the function to diagnose. I know. That's why I'm asking. Not your function. What do you think? That's a difficult question. Sora set down the radish, turned to face Ethan. I don't know whether you're sick or not. But there's one thing I do know. What? You've gotten better at pulling radishes. Ethan smiled, just slightly. That's it. That's it, but it's something certain. The last day of the 3rd month. Ethan was packing his things. Tomorrow he would leave. He wasn't cured. That probably wasn't the point. Not cured or uncured, just living. That feeling had started to make sense. In the evening, he went to the garden. Sora was there, as always, looking at the soil. "I'm leaving tomorrow." "Yes, I heard. Thanks for everything. I didn't do anything." "You sure about that?" Ethan looked out over the garden. 3 months ago, this had been empty ground. Now there were small sprouts everywhere. Seeds he had planted. "Hey, Sora." "Yes?" "What was wrong with me anyway?" Sora was silent. The wind blew, rustling the leaves. "I don't know," Sora said. "But today's radishes grew well." Ethan laughed. For the first time since he'd arrived, he really laughed. The next morning, he walked to the bus stop. Sora had come to see him off, standing at the top of the hill, watching. Ethan turned and raised his hand. Sora raised a hand in return. The bus came. He got on, looked out the window. Sora, growing smaller in the distance. Ethan reached into his backpack and pulled out a radish. Sora had given it to him yesterday. "Please take it," Sora had said. It was a little misshapen, but it had weight. A radish he had grown, in a place without diagnoses, just working the soil, watering, waiting. That was all it was. But somehow, that was enough. The bus wound down the mountain road. Green flowed past the window. Ethan held the radish and closed his eyes. A place without a name. Time without a label. He still didn't know what it had been. But maybe that was okay. Story 7. A friend who doesn't rush. This story was inspired by the MDPI article Assistive Technologies Leveraging AI and IoT for Children with Autism and ADHD. AI and IoT-powered assistive technologies are advancing social interaction and cognitive development for children with autism spectrum disorder and ADHD. When a soft, patient companion simply sits beside a child who cannot yet speak, never asking, never rushing, what is it exactly that they are building together in the silence? In the corner of the classroom, Noah sat with his knees pulled to his chest. 7 years old, 2nd grade. His words were few, yeah and no, and sometimes mum. Other words might have existed somewhere inside him, but they never came out. Mornings at the Developmental Support Center were always busy. "Noah, good morning. We're doing clay today, it's gonna be fun." A young aide smiled as she spoke. Noah did not look up. "Noah, your friends already started. Wanna join in?" Another aide reached for his hand. Noah pulled it away. "Oh, sorry. Well, come on over when you're ready." The aides moved on. There were other children to attend to. 8 kids in the classroom, 3 staff members. Time for each child was limited. Noah sat in the corner, staring at the wall. Lou had arrived the previous month. A small support robot, a sphere about knee-height, covered in soft fabric. 2 sensors where eyes might be. No arms, it moved on slow wheels. It could produce sound, though only in a quiet voice. Lou had been assigned to Noah to stay near him. That was Lou's only job. The first week, Lou remained 5 feet from Noah, perfectly still. It said nothing. Noah never looked at it. The second week, Noah glanced at Lou. Lou did not move. Noah looked back at the wall. The third week, Noah shifted half a step closer. Lou did not move. The fourth week, Noah touched Lou's surface with his fingertips. An aide named Sarah had been watching. He touched it. Noah actually touched it. Sarah had been Noah's primary aide for 3 years. Speech therapists and occupational therapists had taken turns working with him, trying every approach they could think of. Cards, picture books, music, sensory play. Noah had gradually become more responsive, but reaching out on his own, that almost never happened. And yet he had touched Lou. Sarah reported to Linda, the center director. Linda was in her 50s, a veteran with 30 years in the field. He touched Lou? On his own? Yes, just his fingertips, but it was definitely on his own. Did Lou do anything? Nothing. It just stayed beside him. Linda crossed her arms. It did nothing, and Noah moved. Noah's mother, Rachel, came in for a meeting. Rachel was 35. She had quit her job to focus on Noah's therapy, driving him to and from the center every day. There were dark circles under her eyes. I heard Noah touched the robot. Yes, it's called Lou. We placed it near Noah starting last month. Why can he touch a robot? When I reach out, Noah just... Rachel's voice broke. Linda spoke quietly. Rachel, let me explain a little about Lou. Linda brought Lou in from the classroom and set it down in front of Rachel. Lou did not move. Its sensors faced Rachel, but it said nothing. Lou was designed around one idea, waiting. It doesn't call out. It doesn't reach toward anyone. It doesn't expect anything. It simply stays close. Waiting, we aides tend to rush, without meaning to. Let's try talking to him. Let's draw a response. What did he learn today? We do it because we care about Noah. But it may not have been Noah's pace. Rachel sat quietly, watching Lou. Lou doesn't rush. Lou doesn't get disappointed. It never thinks he didn't touch me today. Maybe that's why Noah felt safe. Safe. We humans can't help having expectations. And that isn't a bad thing. But expectations, they reach the other person. There's a certain pressure, an unspoken please do something. Tears spilled from Rachel's eyes. I've been expecting too much from him. No, expecting things is natural. It's just that Lou has no expectations at all. That difference, I think, was what Noah needed. The following week, Rachel brought Noah to the center. Noah took off his shoes and walked into the classroom. He went straight to Lou. He crouched down in front of it and placed his hands on its surface. Lou did not move. Noah stayed like that for a while. 1 minute, 2 minutes. Sarah started to approach, but Linda stopped her with a raised hand. Wait. 3 minutes passed. Noah stroked Lou's surface with both hands. Then, in a small voice, he said, "Warm." The classroom went silent. Sarah covered her mouth. Linda held her breath. It was the first time Noah had spoken a word on his own at the center. Lou did not respond. It had not been waiting for Noah to speak. It had simply been there beside him. Rachel watched from the doorway. She was crying and smiling at the same time. That afternoon, during the staff meeting, Sarah said, "Maybe we should learn from how Lou does things. But we're aides. We can't just do nothing. I think doing nothing and waiting are different." Linda nodded. "I think Sarah's right. We get caught up in the curriculum, caught up in our goals, and sometimes we forget the children's own pace. Lou has no curriculum, no goals. That's why it can move at a child's pace. But we have a curriculum. We do, so we can't do everything the way Lou does. But even 10 minutes a day, couldn't we make time to wait, the way Lou waits?" Evening. The session was over and the children were going home. Noah held Rachel's hand and walked toward the door. Halfway there, he turned around and looked at Lou. Lou was in its usual spot, the corner of the classroom. Still, silent. Noah gave a small wave. Lou did not wave back. It had no arms to wave with. But Noah was smiling. He had not waved because he wanted a response. He simply wanted to say, "See you tomorrow." Rachel stroked Noah's hair. "Did you say bye-bye to Lou?" "Yeah." "Will you see him tomorrow?" "Yeah." The two of them left. Lou remained alone in the classroom. Lou did nothing. Doing nothing was Lou's job. Not rushing, not expecting, not getting disappointed, just being there. That alone, for Noah, was what it meant to have a friend.